And then also turn your mics on mute first. We will have our question and answer later after the session. Si Miss November, hindi ko na makita. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. And so let's start. Yan.
Jirbie, I tried sharing the live. I cannot share it now. There's no share button.
No, naka-livecast siya sa APA, Alliance of the
Okay.
Philippines. So if anyone who wants to join in the conversation, they can go there. Wait, let me just double
Okay.
check kung talaga nagla-livecast na. Kasi baka
Yeah, it's in
hindi.
front of me.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because some
Mm.
people might be sending in their questions there. So let me just check. Again, ano tayo, one-man team. But we'll make it work. Ayan, okay, I can see na din. All right, so let us start. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so happy to have our second live cast here at APA. And for today, we will be talking about the Philippine cinnamon. Thanks to Miss November Yo, and she owns the social enterprise Plantsville Health, a prime mover to conserve the Philippine cinnamon in Negros Occidental by planting and developing products in partnership with the farmers there. And hindi lang yan yung crops na pinapatubo niya. She also has other crops like calamansi, lemongrass, pomelo, oregano, bamboo, and all of these plants na minention ko, she produces aromatic products, either essential oils or hydrosols, that we can all enjoy very, very soon for sure. Okay, so that's a brief introduction about Miss November. Say hi to her. Hi, Miss November.
Hello, everyone.
I'm so happy
I'm
to have
happy to
you
be
here.
here.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Kasi wala lang, it's just so nice to get in touch with our local producers. And honestly, this really piqued my interest about the Philippine cinnamon. Kasi, I mean, I'm not so sure if for everyone, pero probably majority, hindi pa talaga narinig na there is such a thing as Philippine cinnamon. Ako, in my perspective, ang akala ko, yung cinnamon ay galing lang sa Sri Lanka or, I don't know, in India or somewhere there. And I'm really surprised that we have Philippine cinnamon. Could you please share your background, Miss November, and your profession, how you got into this kind of business?
Okay. So, again, my name is November Canyeso. My nickname is Tina. So, sometimes when people call me Tina, someone Tina ko yun. Like Dr. Dorinila there in the audience. I studied community development economics, and I went to research. I went to work for research for 1 year in UP, and then I went to BPI as a loans officer for 7 years, and then 2 years for my MBA, and another 7 years with Globe Telecom for marketing and business development. In 2013, we moved back here. Sorry, 2011, we moved back here to Bacolod. And 2013, I started organic gardening. So I really like gardening because ever since I was a child, we were gardening na. So I really liked it. And then in the course of my organic gardening, nag-vlog din ako. So when I was blogging, kasi my garden is small, no? It's very small. So just around 100 square meters. If you're in the province, it's very small. In Manila, maybe that's large. But in the province, it's very small. Sabi ko, I will plant superfoods, no, to maximize my garden. So one of the foods that I planted was cinnamon. In fact, I planted the Cinnamomum verum, the cinnamon that you see now in the supermarket. And because I was blogging, syempre you research na when you blog. Then that's when I discovered the Philippine cinnamon. So I'm an economist by training. Tiningnan ko, more than 95% pala ng cinnamon natin sa Pilipinas are imported. So if ba't pa tayo nag-i-import, we have 19 endemic species in the Philippines. Then later on, I also learned na the cinnamon species in the Philippines are diminishing. In fact, yung iba hindi na siya makikita. Very, very rare na siya. So sabi ko, it's a pity naman na, you have you have a treasure in the Philippines, and we're not taking care of it. Sabi ko, something must be done about it, no? So naswerte naman ako kasi I have a friend, no, in the Negros Occidental Provincial Environment Management Office. And I asked her, do we have cinnamon here in Negros? It's locally called kaningag. And then she said, oh yes, we have it in Don Salvador Benedicto. Don Salvador Benedicto is a mountainous town. Parang Baguio siya, malamig. And then sabi ko, can I go there with you? So when I went up there, I started talking to the farmers. Hindi nila alam na yung kaningag was cinnamon. Kasi yung kaningag, when you see the cinnamon tree, it's a very unassuming tree. Hindi siya yung pagkakita mo na tree, parang wow, hindi siya ganon. Parang it's very regular, Wala nga siyang magandang bulaklak talaga. Sometimes makikita mo yung leaves niya red, wala siyang malalaking prutas, ganon. Napaka-unassuming na tree kung sa tao pa. At ginagawa nilang uling. So I said, oh my God, inuuling yung cinnamon. Kasi syempre yung mga tao mga farmers sa bundok, they're poor. And of course, they have to use the resources around them. And the technology that they know lang when processing the tree is charcoal kasi yan yung may market. So sabi ko, what if we develop products, no, from the cinnamon? Kasi we already know that cinnamon is very popular, ganon. So naswerte naman ako kasi that time there was a funding na available for the farmers from the LGU, and then I spoke with the head, yung federation leader. Sabi ko, Nanay Ninfa, are you okay ba na we put the funding in Philippine Cinnamon? Sabi niya, but you'll have to help us convince the local government to allocate it for livelihood project for cinnamon. So I wrote the proposal. At maganda naman kasi in-approve naman nila. So that time when we started in 2017, we counted the town is composed of around 7 barangays, and only 50 trees were remaining. So that's very little, no? So by 2019, they were able to plant 14,133 seedlings from the funding from the
14,000? Wow. Meron din bang is there anyone also who donated idle lands for you to be able to plant all those 14,000 trees?
Okay. So first off, the cinnamon are not mine, no? It is with the farmers. So yung mga farmers, they're small landholder farmers. So yung land nila is between 1 to 5, merong 10, but generally about 3 to 5. So in the farm kasi, in the mountain, usually yung mga farmers, they plant, kape, cacao, corn, sugarcane, rice, etc. And usually in the farm, there's a hilly part na hindi nila ginagamit. So damuhan lang yan. So our selling point was they can put it in the part where they don't have revenue yet, no? So kasing cinnamon, very resilient siya. Kahit itapon mo ngayon, tutubo yon. Diba, para mga native na tao, kahit anong conditions, kaya nila. So yun. So one, it did not interfere with their current crops. So alam mo yun, konti yung risk. Second, babayaran pa sila to plant, no? So they were paid when the seedling is bagged, and then they were paid when the seedling is planted, and then when it's harvested, Plantsville will buy the produce. So parang it's an offer that not easy to ignore, no? So 76 farmers have planted, no? Yon. So kaya sila nakapag-produce ng madami kasi the more you plant, mas marami kang pwedeng kunin na remuneration. Yon.
I see. Thank you so much, Miss Tina, for clarifying.
Jirbie, I just would like to clarify the other produce is that also, like for example, calamansi, etc. They're also by small farmers and producers. So yung role ng Plantsville sa cinnamon is really leading the project kasi not many people really know yet about the Philippine cinnamon. So even me at that time, I was also learning, but if you're learning, medyo mas naka-advance ka na, and then because I was engaged in the project, of course, I also learned many things from the farmers because they know the kalingap for a long time. They grew up with it. They just
Correct.
didn't know that it was the cinnamon.
Thank you so much for clarifying that out. Actually, Miss Tina, that's very timely kasi there's so much issue about people who have or who are maintaining a social enterprise. Diba? Very, very malakas ang issue ngayon with with
Nabasa
the
ko yan.
other social enterprise. And that's really nice that you have clarified na, you don't own the land, it's actually from the farmer, and you actually buy all of these products from them. So that's really nice. I'm just curious, Miss November or Miss Tina, how long do you have to wait for the cinnamon tree to grow or para ma-harvest yung isang tree from the seedling?
Yes. Sa experience namin, about 2 years, yung plant is around 6 to 10 feet. No, yon. So,
Oh.
syempre, pag inalagaan mo, lagyan mo ng organic fertilizer, tataba din siya. Tapos, of course, depende din kung saan mo siya tinanim. So, the first is paano mo siya tinanim. Second, kung ano yung conditions around. No? So, for example, may isa doon na he's an old man. Tuwang-tuwa ako doon kasi sinabihan siya nung kanyang asawa na sabi niya, gupitan mo yung cinnamon. Natutunan ko din sa kanya para lumago. Alam mo, siya mismo he's an uneducated person, pero sabi niya, itong plat na to, i-cut ko siya, itong plat na to, hindi ko siya i-cut. Clearly, yung kinat niya ganon, yung cinnamon isang ganito, right? Nung kinat niya ganon, tumubo, 3. So, he now has a tree, tas 3 stems. Pero yung hindi niya kinat, diretso lang siya. Yun. So, isa na yun na na-learn namin na yung cinnamon pala really fights back, no? Pag i-cut mo siya, ay naku, pabawi siya talaga. So, yung kanyang tanim, we tested also yung tawag nila copies, yung you cut it from the bottom around, then you leave about 1 to 2 feet. When we cut it, it grew back. Alam mo kung ilan?
How many?
10.
Wow!
10. As in, wow talaga. So, that's just on the trunk.
Oh,
When you cut
wow.
the stem, same din yung nangyayari. As in, around 10 din yung tumutubo.
Oh, so eventually it widens kasi mas maraming branch.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow. Do you really need a big space for the cinnamon trees or not really?
Yung recommendation ng DNR is 3x3 or 4x4. But if it's a hedge, yung hindi mo talaga siya pinalalaki, pwede 2x3 meters yung distance. Tapos
Wow.
that's one. Pwede mo siyang i-intercrop sa tawag dito sa kape, sa cacao. Sadali, I will have to say something pala. When you plant the cinnamon, you have to plant it in a partially shaded area. Kasi hindi niya kaya yung full sun. So yung
Intense heat, hindi niya kaya.
intense heat niya kaya. Yung isang nakita ko na naturally growing siya, no, ang katabi niya is almasiga. If you're familiar with almasiga, it's a really large tree. So, and to think yung distance nila is not even 1 meter. Maybe just around 2 or 3 feet. So, parang ni-nurture talaga siya ng almasiga. Yon. So, the third thing about the cinnamon, it likes water. So, marami akong nakita na cinnamon na it grows beside the river. Obviously, yung river na yon, nag-overflow yon from time to time. Nakakaya siya ng cinnamon. So, it likes water.
That's very nice. How about in your own home, Miss Tina? Do you have also cinnamon trees there?
Of course! Actually, I have already 4 kinds of cinnamon. No? So, I have the cinnamon verum, which ayaw niya talaga din ng... On the reverse side, ayaw niya rin wala siyang sunlight. Yon. So, I also have yung, of course, cinnamon mercadoy. And then the third, I also have the cinnamon mindanense. This one, the local name is Mana. No? The cinnamon mercadoy, the local name is in Luzon, Kalingag. In Negros, it's Kaningag. And in some parts of Mindanao, it's Karingag, letter R. It's minty, no? It's cinnamon. Imagine na parang local cinnamon that you buy from the supermarket. Just put mint. So that's how it tastes.
Wow.
But the cinnamon mindanense, this one is sweet. No? Sweet. Yung tipong parang may sugar talaga siya. In fact, yung pangalan niya yung Cebu is Mana. No, in Mindanao, it was documented by Pigafetta when Magellan came to the Philippines as kahoy mana, which means sweet wood.
Sweet wood, yes.
Yeah. The cinnamon Mindanaense is very, sabi nila, I'm reading that it's synonymous to Cinnamomum burmanii, which is found in Indonesia. So magkalapit talaga siya ng flavor sa the one that you buy in the supermarket. And then I have another one, mas malapad yung leaves niya. Hindi, may hunch lang ako kung ano siya, but hindi ko siya masabi sa'yo kung ano talaga kasi nakakaya naman baka
We need the Dr. Doronila for that next time. I see. Wow. I have read also that we have more than 25 known species of cinnamon here in the Philippines alone. Tapos 19 of which are actually only found in the country or endemic to the Philippines. Grabe ang dami. And it's such a refreshing topic to talk about cinnamon or Philippine cinnamon as a whole kasi most of us would think na cinnamon is from, I know, Ceylon or Sri Lanka nga or India, like what I've mentioned to you earlier. And it's so nice. Oh, meron pa lang 25 species and now you have 4 right in your yard. That's really cool. But
I
I'm
have to say
also
something about the cinnamomum verum kasi they call it the true cinnamon. Verum means truth, diba?
why?
Yun nga eh. So others say that the other cinnamons are fake, no? Isa lang yung totoong cinnamon. Well, sa pagkakalam ko, hindi totoo yun. I also
Oo nga.
consulted Dr. Doronila and Dr. Picardal. In the world, there are about 250 species of cinnamon. At there is actually no criteria to say which one is true, which one is
Correct.
not, no?
Mm-mm.
Yung the closest that I can understand why it's called cinnamon verum is dati kasi, 'di ba, yung presyo ng cinnamon dati parang gold, no? So sa Europe kasi hindi nag-grow yung cinnamon. So
Correct.
ang nagdadala noon sa Europe yung mga Arab traders, no, in the that is passed on in the Silk Road. So syempre they want to hide where it comes from. So they make all stories about where it is. Kesyo ganito daw siya, kesyo ganito kasi nga gusto nilang itago kung saan.
Correct.
So hanggang napadpad na dito yung mga Europeans at nakita nila sa Asia kung saan cinnamon. And then finally, ito yon yung totoong cinnamon. Huwag kayong maniwala doon sa mga haka-haka where the cinnamon is. So that's why
Oh.
they say it's verum, no? Totoo. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi siya talaga, hindi siya yung isang true cinnamon. Kaya huwag kayong maniwala doon. It's really tawag dito. I think that's the origin of the name. But in the world, there are 50 species of cinnamon.
I agree with you. Kasi like with Australia, di ba, they have a lot of species of eucalyptus. Sobrang dami din. Because it's a plant that's very endemic to their country. So, tama. May ano yan, logic yung sinabi mo na perhaps the Arabs are just trying to... And I noticed, no, most of yung kung saan nag-originate yung cinnamon are British colony. Diba? Parang like Sri Lanka. Indonesia was also... Were they? Diba, East Indies yung Indonesia. So, parang British colony din. Tapos, India was also a British colony. Tapos, Sri Lanka was also a British colony. So, parang, I just noticed na most of the source ng cinnamon, because you mentioned that way back, wait, nandiyan pa ba si Miss November? You mentioned that way.
I'll just mention, before, pagkakalam ko, the world was divided by the two superpowers.
Correct.
Which was Spain and Portugal, no? So, Magellan was Portuguese, but went to the Spanish court, no? So, yung British na yan, they became a superpower later on na, di ba? Kasi they got, for example, Sri Lanka from the Portuguese, so from the Dutch. Yung isa sa mga hardcore talaga na mga spice people are the Dutch. Yun.
Yes. Indonesia pala is under Dutch din kasi parang East Indies yung tawag sa Indonesia before.
Ang East Indies ata sa sa India. Ay, di ba? I'm not so sure.
Parang Indonesia. Okay. Basta yun. Basta nasa kanila. So parang it's really nice na, oy, tayo rin. Meron din tayong pangbata. That's really nice.
Pero actually, the reason why they colonized, the Spain and Portugal colonized these countries is really because of our spices.
Correct.
Yung press
Correct.
release ni Magellan, and I'm sure there's a reason for it, is he wanted to circumnavigate the globe, no, by going westward. But in truth, he was really looking for spices. He was looking for cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. And he was on his way to Moluccas, which was in tawag dito, in the Spice Island, which is in Indonesia right now. So hindi naman na niya alam na may lugar na Pilipinas, 'di ba? Eh,
Mm-hmm.
bumabagyo nun, they took cover in Samar. So when they were there in Samar, syempre minention nila that they were looking for this spice. Eh, sinabi ng isang chieftain doon, punta kayo na Cebu kasi may cinnamon din doon. Ito yung smell niya kasi yung cinnamon Mindanense, although it's called Mindanense, it also grows naturally in Cebu. And also there's also cinnamon Cebuense found in Cebu and some parts of Bohol.
Mm-hmm.
So, kaya pumunta si Magellan sa Cebu because he was really looking for cinnamon. So remember that
Wow.
cinnamon was called gold dust of Europe. And
Yes.
whoever found the source of quote unquote gold became rich. And remember that Magellan was second born, right? He was not
Mm-hmm.
firstborn. The firstborn always inherits the land, but the
Correct.
second-born goes out to get his own fortune, and he was out to get his own fortune, si Magellan. So even though he didn't know because they used to believe that the globe was flat, di ba? Baka
Correct.
mahulog sila at the end of the. He took the risk. Kasi nga, he was looking for his own fortune. So they were looking for the spices at pumunta sila ng Cebu. Sorry na lang siya kasi pinatay siya doon.
Mm-mm. Oo nga. But that's a really nice and very rich history behind our Philippine cinnamon. But have you ever, I'm also curious, Miss November, have you ever tried or articulated the differences between the four cinnamons that you have in your own yard in terms of
Yes.
taste? Or, I mean, it's very interesting to, parang ma-distinguish natin siya.
Yes, yes. Sorry lang, before I answer your question, I'll have to say something. Di ba namatay si Magellan sa pinatay
Mactan.
siya ng Lapu-Lapu sa Mactan.
Mhm.
Tapos the trip was continued by Elcano and they went to Mindanao, di ba? So and then they sailed off But the fleet was able to go back to Spain and they were able to bring home 17 pounds of cinnamon by bartering 2 knives. So,
Wow.
when the Spanish court knew that the cinnamon was here in the Philippines, I have read an article by Dr. Picardal, and in his estimation, and also I consulted Dr. Dorenila, around 1/3 of the landmass of the Philippines, the Philippine cinnamon is naturally growing. Imagine mo, for example, your land, no, your home. Maybe it's, for example, 1,000 square meters. Around 300 square meters cinnamon. So, ibig sabihin, the
Ah.
Philippines was really, quote-unquote, gold mine, which is really the cinnamon. So, they really had to colonize the Philippines.
Mhm.
After Magellan died, they sent this one person who also died. And then
Mhm.
the third one, Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. When he came here, on the year that he came to the Philippines, they colonized the Philippines. So
Oh.
the purpose really of coming to the Philippines was to look for the spices and colonize because of the cinnamon. So
Wow.
there's an article written by some of UPLB professors. They titled it. It's in the. If you get hold of the book, it's called Philippine Native Tree Enthusiast 101. They titled the
Mm.
article on the cinnamon as Philippines as the gateway of the spice highway of Asia. So many countries in Asia were colonized because we have the spices. So we are
Mm.
really the Spice Islands and we are the Spice Girls. Sorry, sorry.
Okay yan. We're the Spice Girls. Especially you. You're the Spice Queen in Negros. But wait, Christina. So, how can you articulate the
Oh,
differences?
sorry. Okay, I'll answer your question. So the cinnamon verum ng siya, it's warm. So if there's one when you smell it, think of it as apple pie and cinnamon, the one that you eat at McDonald's. That's
Mm.
cinnamon verum. So Cinnamomum mercadoi or the kalingag, hindi ko alam yung local name ng Cinnamomum verum sa Sri Lanka. But from what I read in the article, it's not even the best cinnamon species. There are 4 more species that are more yummy. So anyway, for the Cinnamomum mercadoi, think of it as Cinnamomum verum with mint. Yun. Kumain ka ng isang cinnamon stick, kumain ka ng mint leaves, parang yan yung lasa niya. Yun. That's Cinnamomum mercadoi. So,
I'm very curious about that. Is it
kain ka
possible
ng
for us to
sabay,
buy
parang
it from
ganun.
you?
Yeah, I sell. Tapos yung
That's
third
amazing.
naman, yung Cinnamomum mindanense, yung local name is Mana. It's very close to Cinnamomum verum, but maybe I'm biased. It's yummier, no? Because I have not, paano ba? How do I say it? Parang ano siya parang mas matingkad yung flavor niya. Yung Cinnamomum mindanense. Yun. Yung isa naman to, yung flavor niya is very close to Cinnamomum mercadoi. I got the leaves. Do you want? Wag na lang
Yes,
muna.
please.
Okay, hold on.
Game. Ayan. So while we are waiting for Miss November, I just want to remind everyone that we will have a raffle draw later after the session. We will be strict this time. Lahat ng mga nag-sign up lang sa Zoom registration, dun tayo pipili and you have to be on Zoom. So I have to hear your feedback na nandyan kayo. Last time kasi we were very considerate. Na kahit nasa Facebook lang, it's hard. So I need you guys, if you want to qualify for the raffle later, we actually have 2 gift packs. 2 gift packs from Miss November, Plantsville Health, and each gift pack contains, I think, 4 bottles of their products. So yeah, she's back. Hello.
Okay. So this is first the Cinnamomum mercadoi. No, it's the Cinnamomum mercadoi because yung tip niya mahaba.
I see.
Yan, yung tip niya mahaba. And then there's the Cinnamomum mindanense.
Wow, it's a lot more huge.
Yes. Although this one gets huge din.
Okay.
Gets huge din. But yung difference nila, if you flip it, may secondary vein, yung Cinnamomum mindanense. Ito wala. Yun. Tapos, so yung shape niya different, di ba?
Yes.
Yun. Mas manipis yung ano. And
Mercadoi.
then, mercadoi. Tapos yung feel ng kanilang leaves, different din. This one is parang more leathery.
Okay.
This one is more manipis, like your ordinary leaves. But this one naman big siya. Wala siyang secondary vein, kagaya nung Mindanense. Pero, magkaiba yung dahon niya. This one, tingnan mo yung shape nila. Magkaiba, right?
Very different.
Pero yung kanyang feel ng kanyang leaves, pareho lang, parang leathery.
Okay.
Yun. Pero if you flip it, yung likod niya, mas pronounced yung yung nerve, tawag nila din, tri-nerve, tattling nerve. Yun, di ba? Yun. Tapos, I'll crush it, no? If you crush it, yung smell nito, warm na medyo minty, na medyo malapit sa Cinnamomum mercadoi.
Okay.
So, but this one, it's really more minty, no? This one, when you crush it, the Mindanense, it's parang wala siyang mint. Pero
spicy lang.
Spicy siya, tsaka it's warm. It's like, parang siyang perfume.
Wow! How about the yield of the oil? I'm very curious. Like, have you ever tried distilling from each of those species?
We only distill the Cinnamomum mercadoi, and the yield is very small. It's just 0.2%. So, that's why it's very, very expensive. Sorry. It's very, very expensive yon. So, hopefully, pag marami na tayo and we can learn more how to distill more efficiently, we can bring the prices down. But that's why it's very expensive.
Oh, I see. That's very nice.
When I do to-off, I just get leaves around the garden and it smells nice, really good.
Nakakainggit. I'm sure our audience also nagtatanong na sila, where can they buy? Nakakagutom. I see their comments. Don't
By the
worry,
way, the
everyone.
leaves, if you,
Mhm.
I hope you get the seedling and then plant it at home. So you'll be a proud owner of Philippine Cinnamon, no? Tawag dito, I use it many ways, no? You can put it in your, of course, adobo, humba. You
Oh,
can
yes.
stuff lechon with it. Kasi may ano din siya eh, yung na mas ano
Correct.
siya, mas
Like
matagal,
yung
mas
cebu lechon, di ba? You can put in herbs inside.
yes. Actually, sa totoo lang, I checked with Dr. Picardal, yung secret ingredients pala ng lechon Cebu is really the cinnamon. Di ba you notice na there's a flavor that you don't know where it's coming from? It's the
Mhm.
cinnamon. But
Oh.
dahil kumukonti na yung cinnamon, some replace it with bay leaf.
Lemongrass. Ah, bay leaf.
Bay
Oh,
leaf,
okay.
bay leaf. But bay
Mm.
leaf, I know is not native to the Philippines. Although isang family sila nung Mercado, cinnamomum.
I see. Wow. And in relation to that, Miss Tina, kasi kanina I was sharing with Miss Tina that I'm actually feeling a little bit under the weather. Pero now, ano na ako, hyper na ako kasi I'm learning more about this. No? Mabilis lang naman akong ma-stimulate. If we talk about oils, parang na-hyper ako. So I'm back in my old self and Miss Tina was actually teaching me that cinnamon is great to ease tummy trouble. So, are there any other common uses of cinnamon, Miss Tina, so that everyone will learn kung ano pa yung iba
Okay.
naming pwedeng gawin with Philippine cinnamon?
Sige. Uh, we all know that cinnamon can be used in food, no? Once you have the cinnamon plant, what shall we say, you'll never go back to not having it. Kasi you can practically put it in all dishes. Kasi it's dahon lang naman siya, pang pa-flavor siya. Pagpa-enhance ng flavor, di ba? So, we will not talk about food kasi, wala lang. If I want to boil corn, I put cinnamon leaves. If I want to if I cook rice, I put cinnamon leaves. Oh, by the way, the recipe of rice, cinnamon, curry, and pandan, so good.
Yeah,
Parang
sounds
feeling mo
good.
fiesta yung rice mo. Or
Mm-hmm.
even the Ilonggo laswa, I put cinnamon. So you can put it on any dish. Okay. So for ano naman, for parang to aid, no, or help you relieve. Yung first is sa akin, 'di ba? Do you had a tummy ache?
Mm-hmm.
When I have diarrhea or I have tummy ache or even stress, kasi sumasakit yung tiyan mo
Correct.
pag may stress, 'di ba?
Correct.
I drink cinnamon and the pain just goes away. Yung tipong, 'di ba, pupunta ka ng banyo, tapos bigla kang uminom ng cinnamon, tapos bigla lang siya nag-stop. Ganun lang siya,
Oh.
parang magic. Yun. Of course,
Oh.
iba-iba yung reaction ng tao sa different food, no, and different oils. But at least, in my opinion, ganun. Kaya siguro love ko yung cinnamon kasi parang magkaibigan kami. Yun. So,
Pwede.
swak kaming dalawa. So, by the
Because you're
way,
the spice girl.
corny, sorry. By the way, the National Cinnamon Day is, guess what? November 1. Oh, di
Oh,
ba?
wow, that's your name. Wow, kaya
That's
pala.
my name. Hindi ko
Hmm.
imbento yan. Okay, so the other use that you can have for it is, may mga studies ako nakikita na yung cinnamon controls blood sugar. Yon. So, tinitest ko syempre yon, gamit yung mga
Yes.
products ko. So, for example, kumakain ako ng dessert, pag marami na yung sugar sa katawan ko, mangangati na ako niyan sa feet, sa legs, sa kamay. Inom ako ng cinnamon, mawawala yung kate. So, kasi yung pagkabasa ko, there's an insulin effect
Correct.
yung cinnamon. Yan. So the other one is, I found this, wala pa akong species na nakatanim. But one time, may nagdala sa akin dito. Ano naman siya, Cinnamomum iners. It's found in Singapore and in Malaysia. It is high
Mhm.
in eugenol. Kinrush ko siya ganon. Nilagay ko siya sa under ng pillow. Grabe, para akong sinuntok na natulog. Sarap-sarap
Knockout.
ng tulog ko. Knockout. And then the other one is yung tawag dito. Of course, there's tuob. I use it for tuob.
Mhm.
And then next is, kasi nag-distill kami, I brought the cinnamon hydrosol for
Yes.
testing. It kills 83% already Without
Wow.
alcohol, 83%. So,
Against bacteria, right?
yes, against
Mhm.
bacteria. Ngayon, nung binenta ko siya, hindi siya bumibenta during the pandemic. Yun pala, yung hinahanap ng tao is 83%. Mabuti na lang nandyan si Dr. Doronila. Suggest niya, you have to mix it with a 70% ethyl alcohol so it kills 99% germs. Okay, game.
Wow. This November, for your products, like for your essential oil and hydrosol, I also saw someone asking, were you distilling it from the bark or were you distilling it from the leaves?
Right now, we're distilling from the leaves, but we have tried distilling from the bark, no?
Mm-hmm.
Business-wise, parang mas ano siya, mas efficient if you distill from the leaves. Kasi obviously, yung leaves,
Oh,
mas mabilis mag-grow. For example, for the trunk, it takes about 1 year for the tree to produce yung 15 by 30 cm na strip. Yon,
mm-hmm.
1 year yon. But yung leaves, for example, bumili ka ng seedling sa akin, after 2 weeks, may new growth ka na. Ayun. Cut mo pa yon, lalaki pa siya. Hanggang feeling mo, ay, pwede ka na mag-distill once you have the 5 kilos or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Mm.
And it's safer, I think, with the leaves kasi mas mataas yung dermal limit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
So parang for... Mm-hmm.
I have to mention also on the uses. Oh, yung cinnamon bark, yung powder nun, I also mix it with VCO. And then,
Mm-hmm.
na-notice ko when I rub my face with that, parang may instant glow siya, tsaka feeling ko
Oh,
makinis. Yun.
wow. Oh,
So, syempre, pwede mo kasi kainin. You can even eat VCO, di ba, and cinnamon,
correct.
no?
Correct.
So, I rub my everything, my scalp, may ganon. Yung mga kate-kate sa, nawawala.
Kasi meron siyang antimicrobial properties. Okay. So for everyone who doesn't know, ang dermal limit actually ng cinnamon bark is I think at 0.06. Tapos leaf is 0.7. So parang in that way, dermal limit mas mataas sa leaf, parang mas safe siya. We are talking about essential oils. So parang essential oils are much, much more potent. Siyempre iba naman sinasabi ni Miss Tina na ground bark powder and VCO. That's a lot safer, pero don't do that with your essential oil and VCO on your face. Wag, wag. Ayan, that's really nice. Parang gusto kong matry yan, yung DIY mask with the cinnamon powder. I've only ever used the cinnamon powder because I dabble with coffee, home brewing.
Mm,
So parang may konting
yes.
cinnamon effect. But we use McCormick because that's what we thought na available lang. So parang, wow, that's really nice. So we have our own cinnamon. And meron siyang sariling spin of flavors. And I think that you mentioned about Cinnamon Mercado where it has a little minty taste. That's really
Minty taste.
nice. Parang,
Mm.
wow, ang gandang spin yun sa coffee. Oh, yun yung naisip ko, uy, masarap yun sa kape, ha?
I have to mention also pala, for example, you have to freshen your breath. Just
Yes.
chew on the leaves or you chew on the bark. It will freshen your breath. Mas masarap pa
Wow.
siya kasi minty siya, di ba? So, para ka lang
Mhm.
kumain ng kahoy na minty. Parang ganun.
Wow, that's really amazing. I know a lot of the ilan bang nanonood ngayon? I know all the 14 people on Zoom and everyone on Facebook right now na-excite ng makatry ng, ng cinnamon, Philippine cinnamon. But don't worry everyone kasi Miss November actually has a special promo code for everyone who's watching today. So later, announce natin yan. But let's get to know more about Miss November. I want to get to know more about your challenges naman. So we talked about the use of cinnamon, how you built it up. I wanted also to learn about the challenges that you have faced in building your business.
Okay. Kasi we are on the raising funds, no, for the planting, dealing with the farmers with the planting, and then harvesting, and then processing, selling, no, and distributing. So, parang we're in the entire value chain ng Philippine Cinnamon. So, maraming challenges along the way, no. Siguro the first challenge is bakit ko ba pinasok yung sa pagkahabang value chain? So that's the first one. But it's good kasi that's my learning process. I want to see the beginning and the end para I can picture it all out. So yun. Hirap naman magtanim na magtanim, hindi mo alam kung anong hinahanap ng market, 'di ba? So yun. So the first challenge, for example, on the raising funds, no, ang cinnamon kasi, matagal siyang i-harvest, no? In a sense that it's not like lettuce na after 30 days, may mabebenta ka na. It's not like that. Kung sa bahay lang, okay lang kasi konti lang needs mo. But if it's a company na mag-invest sila ng tao, ng resources, ng marketing, syempre gusto nilang makuha yon as fast as possible, right?
Correct.
So parang yung mga private companies are not willing to invest on it. That's why we were able to get from LGU, from foundations, and tawag dito, kind-hearted individuals who are really concerned for the Philippine Cinnamon, like Dr. Doronila there.
Correct. Si Dr.
Uh,
Doranila. Thank you so much for being here today.
and for helping the Philippine Cinnamon. So that's the first challenge. The gestation period of the investment is a little bit, not a little bit, it's long. Yun. Pero maganda naman on the reverse side, once you plant it, you harvest forever na. Yun. So, yun, you just have to wait. So, yun. The next one is when we dealt with the farmers, kasi syempre mga farmers, maiksi lang din yung PC nila, di ba? So parang, aside from maiksi yung PC nila, you have to continually educate them. At magastos yun, no? Actually, sa totoo lang, I have not requested for a funding yet in my company, no? Usually, mga startup, di ba, they go around asking for investment, no? I did not do that because, well, nahiya naman ako na hindi ako sigurado na tawag dito na mababawi ko yung pera nila. So ako muna. Yon. And then, so that's the second challenge, really, in educating the farmers and getting them motivated to please nurture the plant. Paulit-ulit yon, nurture the plant. Once you plant once, you can harvest many times. So kung i-compute mo yung cost of planting and nurturing, kasi rain-fed naman siya na tanim. It's not like mag-irrigation ka talaga, di ba? Kaya siya nung ulan lang. So yun, so that's the second challenge. The third challenge is really yung developing products from our own Philippine cinnamon, no? So for example, we started 2017, nakapag-distill ako 2019 eh. Kasi I was also learning at that time.
Correct.
But maswerte ngayon yung mga nakikinig, for example, they already know that the leaves can be distilled and the yield is like this, no? But when I was beginning, ako talaga yung found out those information.
Nangangapa talaga.
As in, we had to build the information from scratch, no? Of course, I got not a lot of experts, but few experts na they've also been studying cinnamon for a long time, no? So the next challenge would be yung product development kasi yung mga tao ngayon, 'di ba usually pag negosyante ka, for example, if you make cinnamon rolls, yung market mo may sanay na sila to a certain flavor. So hindi mo siya pwedeng suddenly you just replace it. Parang you really have to make a new product out of the new material. This is cinnamon, but with a minty flavor. Usually, the reaction is, masarap siya, pero bago siya. And, with anything na bago, there's a learning curve, no?
Correct.
Sasanayin mo pa sa sarili mo, ganun. Some instantly fall in love with it. Some, hindi ako sanay. Parang ganun siya, no? So, dun sa market. And then, of course, ang product development costs a lot of things. So, right now, we have around 5 products that we are marketing. But yung 5 na yun is a distillation also from around 30 to 40 products. Diba? So it's a really continuous, and that has cost. Diba? So that's the challenge. And then there's the sa distillation, sa bark, not so much, no? Kasi parang there's a technology but I also tested drying the bark air dried and under the sun. Pag under the sun, when you have your own cinnamon at home, when you harvest the bark, don't dry it full sun kasi na-erode yung flavor. Just dry it on a clean piece of paper, covered. So ano lang siya, air dry lang. And then So yon. But for the distillation, for example, especially nung pandemic,
Mhm.
wala kasing local industry pa, 'di ba, ng distillation. So we had to design our own distiller.
Still,
We had to find out kung anong heat ang kailangan. Uh, yung condenser namin, hindi pa siya naglalabas kaagad ng 100% yung steam na convert into oil and water. Yung ang dami talagang birth pains. Ganun.
wow, ang galing. Actually, as I have spoken with a lot of other producers, local producers, I was able to speak with producer ng LME. I was able to speak with producer last week. I mean, 2 weeks ago, sorry. We were able to have someone from Aurora naman. And he's distilling ilang-ilang.
I
Ganun din,
listened
no?
to that.
Parang, yes, parang medyo similar yung challenges. But I think what's good about you, Miss November, is at least meron kayong support from LGU. Kasi I think like even the LME and ilang-ilang, they weren't able to have much support with their LGU. Parang mas okay yung sa inyo. At least meron support. At saka dyan si Dr. Doranila, really
Yes.
good
Oh.
expert. I'm
Mm.
wondering, Miss November, do you also have your oils checked with GCMS?
Wala pa. So, actually, during the pandemic, Dr. Deronila issued me tawag dito, parang biosecurity na paper para makapasok yung cinnamon oil sa Australia sa kanya
Oh,
para he can test it. So, hindi ko pa nagagawa yon, but it's going to be tested
oh,
by
that's very
him.
exciting. Mm-mm. Gawin nyo na.
Para he can, oh, we will.
Nakaganon kami, nakaantay.
Mabango siya.
Oh, kukulitin natin siya after 2 weeks. By the way, for everyone's listening, and andito kasi Dr. Doronila is here with us, but we will have a separate session with him. If you guys are curious on who he is actually the scientific advisor of Miss Tina November sa Plantsville Health. So siya yung and he's the expert, chemistry expert behind Plantsville Health, and siya yung nag-a-advise kay Miss November about Philippine Cinnamon. Kasi syempre, we all need someone who really has a scientific background to guide us. Like, diba, like us, that's why we're studying aromatherapist in a school kasi we need to know all these things. Hindi lang tayo nang huhulog. And I'm very happy to have Dr. Doronila on August 22 for another session with him. I will announce that within the week. Pero ngayon, dito muna tayo kay Miss November dahil we want to learn as much as we can with the Philippine Cinnamon and basically paano niya naitaguyod itong business na ito. Kasi it's hard. Number one, it's hard to work on something that's really new. Number two, tama yung sinabi niya na how about yung feasibility nito? Diba? Will it really work? Meron bang demand? Yung all the chunk that you have to educate everyone, let everyone try and make them think, and not make them think, but make them realize na, this is an alternative, a good local alternative that you don't really have to buy McCormick anymore because McCormick is expensive. Diba? It's really nice to support our own. And that's actually one of the goals of Alliance of the Philippine Aromatherapists is to highlight or put the spotlight on our local producers so that we can in the hopes that we can all enjoy plant material and plant produce that are endemic to us, that are really rich here in the Philippines. And in all of these conversations,
Sorry, go ahead, please.
yeah, all of these conversation gives me an idea na, kasi I'm also about to, meron akong webinar schedule with AIA, which is the Alliance for International Aromatherapists. I am the country representative for the Philippines to that organization. I actually have a scheduled talk with them, but I've already submitted my topic. I was supposed to talk about LME. But in my next, if meron akong chance ulit, I will definitely get to know more about Philippine Cinnamon and eventually I wanna feature naman din Philippine Cinnamon because I think it's nice na imagine we have more than 25 species here. That's a lot. Diba? Yan. So you were saying, Miss Tina.
Yung, of course, tayo yung interest talaga sa platform na to is essential oil. But Dr. Doronila and I, our interest also is in the conservation of the species, no, and in
Mhm.
the aside from the environment and on the livelihood.
Mhm.
Remember that cinnamon is a tree, and as a tree, maraming animals din na nagde-depend, no? So
Correct.
yung isa, for example, is there's a Visayan bird na nawawala na siya kasi pupunta pala siya sa cinnamon. So when we
Mm.
actually bring back local species, we also provide homes to species that thrive on it. No, so
Mhm.
another one that we found out is the cinnamon trunk, for example, attracts pollinators. No, the in DSB they call it a kaba-kaba butterfly. So
Wow.
which means that if you plant the cinnamon around your fruit-bearing trees, as it is in the forest, iba-iba naman yung mga trees sa forest, the trunk attracts pollinators, and syempre the more pollinators you have, the more fruits and flowers that you will have na in the forest. So the cinnamon is key. The Philippine cinnamon is key in ecological balance. So that's what we're saying, no. Na aside from the oil, the tree itself is very important. So
Mhm.
remember that our homes in urban areas used to be a forest as well. And by planting native trees in our homes, kahit isa lang yan or dalawa lang yan, that's really already a big help kasi it is home to many insects, birds, etc. Aside from, I think our bodies are wired to the local plants, no? So that's going to be very helpful for us. So the other part is, DSB is a watershed in Negros. So it's a
Mhm.
mountain kasi, di ba? It's a natural park, it's a protected forest. Around 8 municipalities depend on the water that's coming from the mountain. So as you know, the trees kasi hold water and prevents erosion. So
Correct.
that's part of the ecological balance. So I just would like to stress and thank everyone who gets interested in the Philippine cinnamon. Kasi yes, we know it is oil. Yes, it is bark. But it actually supports the environment and the people and animals who depend on it. Like the livelihood ng farmers, pagkain ng mga ibon, ng mga insects, gano'n.
I agree. And actually, as aromatherapists, I think worldwide, no, na a lot of the certified aromatherapists are also putting their focus not lang just on the essential oil and the production. There also have been efforts to look on that, yung sustainability, yung practices behind producing the oil. And I think that's a really nice conversation that we can take with Dr. Duradila on August 22. No? We have a bigger picture on all these plants to make sure that yun nga, may longevity rin, may sustainability, may longevity rin itong ginagawa natin. We're trying to really uphold or someday, no, we just want to make sure na mas mag-improve yung industry natin, aromatherapy industry natin, and again, yung plant industry as a whole. This November, I also was checking your profile and I saw na parang did you have help with the Australian, parang may Australian aid ba? Parang how did that
Yes, yes,
happen?
yes, yes. So in January of 2020, I joined this group, Innovation for Social Impact Partnership. It's a
Mm-hmm.
consortium of Field Dev Foundation, Australia Embassy in the Philippines, and United Nations Development Program. So, ESIP tawag nila. So, when they invited us, brought us to Manila for boot camp. Yun. So, kaya nung nagka-lockdown nung March, syempre kilala ko na sila. So, they bring us for webinars. We were in the Australian Embassy, ganon, in January. So we met with the ambassador, ganon. So nung March, nung nagka-lockdown, and then they brought a call for innovations. Mabuti na yun kasi during the lockdown, that time kasi marami akong hydrosol. So syempre gusto ko mabenta yung hydrosol kasi baka masira siya, di ba? So ano
Mm-hmm.
bang gagawin ko dito sa hydrosol na to? Kasi hindi ka man lang makaalis sa bahay. So yun, so na-meet ko si Dr. Donila, hanggang tinulungan niya ako to formulate the sanitizer. Ito yan. So,
Ayan.
yun. So, instead of na-stuck lang yung hydrosol ko, hindi ko pa kayo nakikilala, guys. So, nakapag-produce ako ng sanitizer. So, when they had a call for innovations, I submitted my sanitizer. And they said, oh, sige, that's a nice product. Why don't you scale it up? So, they gave me funding to buy the distiller. So, dati, nag-distill lang kami with another distiller here in Negros. So right now, we have our own distiller. So we have two. One is 5 kilograms. So yan yung
Wow.
micro production namin. So, di ba I told you we have Philippine cinnamon, we have oregano, we have distilled pomelo,
Calamansi.
bamboo, calamansi, galangal. So para siyang para siyang yung distiller para kang nagkaroon ng bike. Parang
Oo.
pumunta kahit saan. Kasi you have now a tool to bring you to the wonderful world of aromatics, so to speak. No? Yun. And then, nakita namin na maganda yung organic material tsaka may source. And then, we can now test distilling in the bigger distiller. So, for example, yung pomelo, nakita namin na may source siya, yung rind, mas mabango naman siya. As in, yung tipong pag-smell mo, pero feeling mo happy ka kagad, gano'n.
Mhm.
So, we can distill sa big one. But if, for example, yung curry leaf, we try distilling it, yung smell niya parang burnt rubber. Okay din siya, but between pomelo and between sunshine in a bottle and burnt rubber, syempre mas attractive
Oo.
sa market. So you know that when you distill 100 kilograms, your chances of being able to sell is better. Yeah.
Wow, that's really nice, no? New learnings. And buti na lang na you have that. Ang galing that you're able also to have all of those opportunity kahit nung lockdown. Ang galing. I have a question here, Miss November. Elena was asking, hindi ba mamamatay ang cinnamon kung yung bark ang kukunin to distill? Or yung branches lang ang binabalatan? How do you actually do that? Do you have to scrape off a bit tapos yun yung didistill? Paano po ba yun?
Okay. There are two ways to get the bark, no? In Sri Lanka, the way they do it is they call it copies, which means that ito yung tree, you cut it around 1 to 2 feet, no? Ang matitira na lang is like a stump. Pero hindi namamatay yung tree. In fact, it bounces back. It will give you 10 or more stems. So that's why their strategy is really to copies para mas lumago siya. Yan. And then when you get the tree, you take out the leaves and the stems, you distill the leaves and the stems. And then yung trunk na yun na natitira is, of course, you wash the stem, and then you scrape off the outer bark, and then you rub it with another cinnamon to loosen the bark from the wood itself, and then make an incision, and then you peel off the inner bark. Then you air dry it, and you have now the cinnamon bark. So that's the first process. The other process is, this is studied by the FPRDI, Forest Products, ng DOST. Ang kanilang study naman for mature trees, which actually I don't really recommend, no? If I had a big tree, I would never touch it kasi baka mamatay. That's my mother tree, di ba? You only do it kung if you have another one. And then there's a specific technique, no? So for example, this is your cinnamon tree. Never cut around it kasi if you cut around it, mamamatay talaga yung buong tree kasi hindi makaakyat yung nutrients pataas, 'di ba? So si DOST made a study at yung pinaka-recommended nila is to strip off yung horizontally 15 by 30. 15 centimeters by 30 centimeters. Ganun lang kaliit. Pero pero maganda ginawa talaga nila yon kasi in the forest, as we speak, may mga cinnamon trees that are standing and people take the bark out. 'Di ba? So mabuti na yon na alam nila how to bark it properly. And it takes around 1 year para
To grow
lumabas
back.
ulit, to grow back yung bark. But my suggestion is, unless you're super sure of what you're doing, Don't do it. I never did it. I never did it. If at all, just take, you have a mature tree, just remove the stem. You can use it kasi it will bounce back anyway. And by the way, when you remove the stem, di ba stem to,
Mm-hmm.
diba sa camera? Pag stem yan, don't cut here. You cut around 1 foot there. Para you have a space where the other stems can grow. Kasi it will
I
grow back.
see. Is there like a specific length of time for the tree to be considered old tapos hindi na siya mag-grow?
Oh, that's a good question. In the forest, I've seen around 30 meters. So, but of course, I have not measured it to really say na it will not grow anymore, no? So, but it's between 10 to 30 meters. But kung yung growth naman na 3 years, of course, mag-grow pa siya. But if it doesn't get uprooted which is not usual, uprooted by storms and ano nga yun yung umiikot?
Tornado.
Tornado.
Mm.
It will hopefully grow forever.
Oh, wow. Ang galing. And then someone's
Wala pa ako
also...
nakikitang namamatay na cinnamon unless you
Mm.
touch it. Yan.
Oh, I see. Thank you for that, November. Someone's also asking, for that size of stem daw, yung sinabi nyo, how much yung yield niya?
Okay. So, when we did it, around 7 to 10 feet na tree, yung yield niya is around half kilo of bark.
Wow, marami din.
Oo. Marami din siya, but for the time that you're going to wait for it,
Matagal.
matagal. So,
Mm-mm.
if you're on, if you will just leave it as your mother tree, okay lang yun, no? But binibigay ko na yung strategy, no? For nakikita kong better na strategy is just to make a hedge garden. Kasi the money is on the leaves, really, not on the bark.
I see. But in terms of the, I don't know, aroma or the flavor, ano yung difference between the leaf and the bark? Have you noticed any distinct difference?
Stronger yung bark na aroma.
Okay.
Although, and I suppose siguro, din siya, mas potent siya.
Yeah.
But hindi siya significant eh. So parang sayang naman na yung bark. Kasi if you use the bark naman not for the oil, mas valuable siya, no? So for example, may bumibili sa amin ng bark, 130 grams. Ang siya, pizza place to. They boil
Powderized it.
the bark chip. Kasi you use 1 gram for 1 liter. And then they sell it as iced tea. Kasi
wow.
na iced tea, lagyan mo lang ng konting kalamansi. And it's only iced tea. It's 25 pesos.
Wow! Uy, nice yan. Bumili na kayo ng bark. Uy, nice yan. Especially pag summer, ganun. Or pag November, autumn peels, ganun. That's really
Or
nice,
you can you can, of course, when you boil the bark, no, you can also, diba, drink it as tea. The other way you can use it is instead of plain water for your coffee, use the cinnamon tea with your coffee.
Yes.
Or I also have a pure cacao tablea. So when I make the tablea, I use cinnamon tea. May flavor na yung cinnamon, mas healthy pa. Kahit pure cacao yan. So,
ang galing.
and you can drink the cinnamon tea all day long.
Wow, na-excite. Ito na, Miss Tina. Someone's asking if they can buy the seedlings from you. How can they reach you? Do you have a Shopee site? Or paano ba nila mabibili yan? Dahil na-excite na sila.
Thank you very much for asking that. No, the name of our page is Home Organic PH Plantsville Health. In this link, I will also put my page. So that's where we also have a website, https www.plantsville-health.com. So you can also contact us. In Shopee, we also have a Shopee store. Shopee, just search Plantsville. We also have cinnamon products there except for the seedling kasi hindi allowed yata nung Shopee yung live.
I see. So how can they buy it from you? Diretso na lang, direct message?
Diretso na lang sa Facebook page or you can contact me or I don't know if okay to give my number here. They can
Yes,
call.
you can. Yes. Yun. So I will post yung mga links ni Miss November sa Facebook page natin, but you can freely DM her. That's the point of this, para to link the producer and the end user, because we want to help everyone. Okay, another question that I see here is there a shelf life bago mawala yung effectivity or siguro yung aromatic ng isang cinnamon bark? Meron ba siyang shelf life?
Okay. We tested, kasi part yun ng good manufacturing practice, di ba? Na you have to date it and then get a sample and then put it somewhere and then check the test, no? Test the
traceability,
shelf life. The one that we harvested 2017 is good as new. Basta it's packed lang properly na yung
away from sun, away from air, moisture.
Yes. Tsaka tightly sealed, very important. Tightly sealed lang yung container. I have to say also the hydrosol, the one that we distilled in 2019, it's good as new then. I was really so surprised. I go, without preservative pa ito kasi 'di ba there's a natural preservative, good as new. So I was telling Dr. Doronila that I had an insect bite in the garden. I wanted to test the one that was distilled in 2019. I sprayed it on my on the insect bite. Parang magic, nawala yung kate.
Miss November, don't tease us like that. You have to make it hydrosol available again dahil kinikiliti mo kami ng pasimple ngayon.
I have to tell you something pala kasi may tita recently died of cancer, no? Ang isang effect pala nung chemotherapy sa kanya was kumati yung buo niyang katawan. So, hindi ko alam kung sa blood yon, but marami siyang binibili na lagay sa kanya para maka-relieve ng kanyang skin itch. Yung tipong gusto niya nang kamutin yung buo niyang katawan. So sabi ko, why don't you try the cinnamon essential aromatic water, hydrosol? So sabi niya, sige nga. So when she tried it, kasi gulat na gulat siya kasi instantly nawala yung kate.
Wow, that's
really nice. Galing naman. So, I announced it in my Facebook page na I'm part of
I came across that when you mentioned that
program with AIM, with the Peace Equity Foundation, and they assigned to me an oncologist. So I sent her the products, and she's going to test it with her chemo and radiotherapy patients. So I hope it works with them.
And we're so excited to know kasi, I mean, it's really nice also to have a merging of like aromatherapy and yung mga MD doctors to back up scientifically yung mga plant aromatics natin. Pero Miss November, talaga gusto namin yung hydrosol na yan na i-offer mo ulit. Kiniliti mo na kami. Diba? Yung mga students dyan, nakikita ko nandito pa yung mga students ng aromatherapy, mga nag-case study yung mga yan, gusto nila yan.
Maraming students bumibili ng leaves sa akin kasi they test it. One student tested the leaves kasi they're developing an eye drop pag nagda-dry yung mata. So that's one. Yung isa din is for cancer also. So I think that's mga 5 na yung nakabili sa akin ng leaves.
Kami rin bibili, kaya humanda ka na. Mag-distill na tayo dyan. And we also have a foreign attendee. Gladys is here. She's based in Hong Kong. So, hello. Yeah. So we have foreign attendees here on our live casts. Any other questions, everyone? Just type in your question para kay Miss November. Or it's time na for you. You can turn on your audio na. You can shoot in your questions directly to Miss November. Well, I prepare na the raffle. Pwede nyo na siyang tanongin. Go. Anyone? I'm checking yung mga comments sa Facebook kasi baka hindi ko nakikita. Okay, somebody mentioned that cinnamon is good for type 2 diabetes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kasi meron nga siyang insulin. There's something about it that helps with the insulin balance. Ayan, na-excite talaga sila sa hydrosol, Miss November. Puro hydrosol lang sinasabi nila. Ako rin! Wait, so let's talk about yung gift pack nila, Miss November. Could you share them? Ano yung mapapanalunan ng dalawang winners? We're about to pick 2 winners now.
Okay. So actually the gift pack is first is the actually four sila no. So yun. So these are the ones with stickers. The first one is the Philippine Cinnamon aromatic water with lemongrass essential oil. By the way, some moms tell me that they use it also as anti-lamok. Yan. So the other one is we also distill, diba, the oregano.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is blended no na 70% ethyl alcohol because I'm from Negros, we have lots of sugar here, so maraming alcohol dito. And then bamboo with pomelo, and then this pomelo rind. Okay. So this is the first set with label. And the other set that has no label is one is galangal and calamansi and cinnamon. And then, ano pa yung sabi ko sa'yo, Jirbie?
Kasi may apat na unlabel kasi bago siya.
Oo, bago siya.
The newer ones. Kaya pagpasensyahan nyo na walang label, pero it's gonna be good. Okay, so let's first draw yung winner nitong may label. So for yung first set of our products from Miss November, yan, okay lang, alam mo, Miss November, hindi kami choosy. Basta, basta libre. Tsaka, maganda yung quality. Go kami dyan.
I love to tell you something pala. Di ba, you can spray it. So when we pack this, kahit the whole day kami mag-pack, and syempre, pupunta din sa skin namin. Never nagda-dry yung skin namin. And then that's one. Second, the whole day din kami, syempre yung aroma, never sumasakit yung ulo namin. Kasi I'm sensitive sa smell eh. So, pag nakasmell ako yung sa kotse na pampabango,
yeah, air freshener,
hindi ko yun kaya. Either sasakit yung ano ko or I feel nauseous. Ganon. So, yan. I hope you like it.
Miss November, panawagan, hydrosol. Okay. The first winner for our labeled gift pack from Miss November's Plantsville Health is Emily New. Are you here? Turn on your audio. Say
yes,
hi.
I'm here. Thank you.
Ayan,
Hello.
congratulations.
Hello po. Thank
Congratulations.
Emily is from Naga, right? Bicol?
you. Yes.
Yan. Ano tayo? Nationwide tayo. And then the next winner to bring home the newer products of Miss November is... Wait. Wow! Congratulations, Julia. Julia L. Is she here? Wala yata. Going once. Ems, tanggal muna natin yung audio. Going twice, Julia L. Wala. Naku, hindi ko siya marinig. Buno tayo isa pa. Next winner is... Abigail Fernandez. Is she here? Naku, wala rin. Abigail, going once? Going twice? Naku, wala. I'm also checking the Zoom para kayo-kayo na lang. Eto na. I think she's here. Elaine Canlas. Is she gonna shout? Congratulations, Elaine. Are you here? Ayan yung audio. May rules tayo. Kailangan mo talaga mag-acknowledge via audio. Are you gonna say hi? Elaine, game na. Hi. Ayaw niya talaga. Alright. But she's here. Congratulations, Ems and Elaine. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much, Miss November, for enlightening us about the Philippine Cinnamon. I'm sure marami silang natutunan. And marami talaga na-excite. Mas lalo na ako. Yung hydrosol talaga. Gusto na naming matry. I hope you can make it available again. Kasi I think the story... Ayan. So anyway, si Miss November, kasi I read your profile, Miss November, and I know na you had the hydrosols before. Kaya lang nga, dumating yung lockdown and you didn't know what to do with it. Kaya kinonvert na lang nila as a sanitizer. But I hope you also make kahit na small quantities available for sale ng hydrosol as is. Kasi for sure, a lot of us, especially yung mga tao sa EOP or yung mga tao sa APA, we would love to try the hydrosols on its own and experience the wonders of, please make it available. See, I'm speaking for everyone. um, Yun lang. So, I guess that's all for today. Meron pa ba kayong mga questions before we end the session?
There's a question that I answer, please.
Yes, please.
She's asking if the cinnamon can be planted beside cacao or coffee trees. The answer is big yes. Because one, I know that the cacao needs a windbreaker, right? Para the flowers and the fruits will not fall. Can do that. That's one. Second, the cinnamon tree attracts the pollinators, so it will benefit really your cacao and coffee flowers. So more pollinators, more fruits.
That's really nice. Okay, so alam kong a handful of us would want to get their hands on the seedlings. A lot of us would want the hydrosols and the oils. But before we end the session, I would like to invite everyone also to please join us on August 22. We will be having naman Dr. Dorenila, and we will learn more about the ecological effects, yung parang the bigger picture naman of Philippine cinnamon. Dr. Dorenila is actually here with us. Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence today. Alam ko sobrang busy sila. And he is also actually answering some of your questions over chat. But we will be having a special episode with him. Kasi parang sayang, no, kapag hinati natin. Naisip ni Miss Tina na we have to have a separate session with Dr. Doronila. And I think so too. Para we have this scientific and a bigger picture to learn about Philippine cinnamon. So I guess that's all for...
Yes. Jirbie, can I just say something about the talks of Dr. Doronila? So,
yes,
Dr.
please.
Doronila
Doc, ano na kayo, audio on, video on na kayo. Huwag na kayo mahiya.
So I am on the social enterprise, but if you really want the science for chemistry, Dr. Doronila is a PhD in chemistry. You know, he is an environmental scientist and then a chemical analyst at the University of Melbourne in Australia. He has more than 30 years of experience in the field. So you can ask him all of your science questions. Dudugo yung ilong nyo kasi sasagutin niya lahat yun. So actually, I was telling him that when I met him and then if I have a question, I ask him and he comes back with many answers. He's really opening many layers of the science around, not just on the Philippine cinnamon and on oils and on the chemical properties. No? So I suggest that you really pick his brains because you will really learn a lot.
Tama. And Dr. Doronila is actually part of our Facebook group. So, yun naman siyang masyadong pero you can also shoot your questions with him if you have questions, no? Pero just be kind, everyone. Alam ko na-excite tayo, pero just be kind. It's just nice to also have people with a very scientific background in our group, and we will be having our session with him. So please make sure to have your questions ready. I want it to be a very nice and fruitful session also. Okay, so ayun, I guess that's all for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I hope you guys had a very productive Sunday. I did. I enjoyed our session with Miss November, and I'll see you around.
Thank you very much
for
having me.
It was very enjoyable.
Thank you.
Well done.
See you po.
Thank you.
Hello, my wasabis. August is my birth month, and I wanted to celebrate this month. I think I've never really had my birthday giveaway ever here on my YouTube channel. And I think there's just so much to celebrate over the past year. First off, I am now the country representative for the Philippines at AIA, or the Alliance of the International Aromatherapists. It's an international aromatherapy organization that focuses on improving the education for the professional aromatherapists worldwide. And with that, I wanted also to celebrate a lot of
small wins over the past year. I know the past year has been difficult for most of us. It doesn't exclude me. So, these small wins and good news is just something that I wanted to be reminded of. And I've decided to throw in a giveaway this year. And as you can see, I am wearing this word cloud that you guys have submitted. I remember asking about this last year, I think, or I forgot na eh. Pero I asked about this because I was trying to get to pick your brains. I was trying to pick your brains on the things that you are reminded of when you think about me. And these are the keywords that you guys actually have submitted. And it really warms my heart. So, my friend, Mori Notes, Mitzi, thank you so much for sponsoring this. Mori Notes is actually giving away a shirt she gave me for myself. And she also gave me another one to give away to you guys. So, if you also want to win this aromatherapy shirt, it's basically the words or the keywords that you have submitted that talks about couchwasabi or Jirbie, me as an aromatherapist. And this is just a really nice reminder of the things that I've done in the past 3 years about aromatherapy. So I'm very happy to give this away to one of you. And I want to take the giveaway up a notch. So aside from the shirt that I know you will love, because I really love mine, I am also giving away my favorite diffuser. This is one of my favorite diffusers because it's so compact. It's so small. And I still use mine a lot. I actually bring this to my travels because it's super compact. Ang liit lang niya. Grabe. See, it's so compact. And you can, there's like the cord is inside. So it's USB powered. So you can actually use your power banks for this. This is one of my favorites. This is from Rocky Mountain Oils. And to go with this, I am also giving away this Sweet Oasis 15 ml essential oil plus the Word Cloud t-shirt that Mori Notes sweetly sponsored for us. I am giving away these three as my birthday giveaway this year. So the mechanics are super duper simple. You just have to be a subscriber of this channel. Subscribe on my YouTube channel if you haven't already. You have to follow me on all my Instagram accounts. I will put the 3 Instagram accounts below in the description box. So that's my main Instagram account, my Essential Oil Instagram account, and our new Alliance of the Philippine Aromatherapists Instagram account. Follow all 3. You have to be a part of our Facebook group at Alliance of the Philippine Aromatherapists. I want you to be part of that because I will be putting all my aromatherapy efforts there. Moving forward, we have already had 2 live casts since we've created the group. And we have connected a lot of our aromatherapy or essential oil enthusiasts to our local producers since. And we have a lot more free events for everyone that you can benefit from. So if you have a friend or if you are very much interested about essential oils, I don't see a reason why you shouldn't be a part of that. Okay? And then thirdly, you have to post a screenshot of this giveaway on your Instagram stories and tag me on JLian85, my public account, and tag 2 of your friends to join. Encourage them to join. After that, don't forget to put a comment on my post about this giveaway. So it's pretty easy. You just have to be a subscriber. You have to be a follower. You have to join the Facebook group. You have to post your screenshot of this giveaway on your story so you can post as much as you can because this giveaway will run until the 22nd of August, which is our next live cast for this month. So on August 22, we will be having Dr. Doranilla. He's a Melbourne-based biogeochemist and he specializes in a lot of the plant materials that are available here in the Philippines. As in, sobrang laki ng knowledge niya. He has a vast knowledge about the plants here in the Philippines, the plants that are native to us, and we will be having him as part of our next APA live cast on the 22nd of August. And I will be announcing the winner also by then. You have to be a part of that event to be able to claim these amazing prizes. Okay? So the schedule for that is going to be in the morning. That's August 22 at 9 a.m. You have to be there if you want to win this. And I guess that's all for today. If you are as excited as I am to bring home this, I think it's really cute. Thank you so much, Morinotes, to bring home this and these prizes. I hope to see you and feel your presence on my social media in the next coming days. Okay? And I'll see you on my next video.